it's a very weak, has become a very weak proposal.
Yes.
Which in essence I also don't think is too bad, because I mean especially the European Parliament proposal, which was very very strict and now very difficult, I guess, for platforms
Yes.
to work with. It would have been a lot of problems, but now there's a big question mark, because especially the part that will determine, whether or not a platform worker is a worker or independent contractor. It's just entirely up to the individual members of the EU. So a big question there, that it will depend on each country how to deal with that. In the Netherlands, I think we can expect a similar approach as
Yes.
as the one we just discussed. I mean, it would not make a lot of sense if there would be a total different approach. So I think a similar weighting of criteria process will be introduced in the Netherlands. Of course, specifically zooming in on all the intricacies or the complications you have with platforms where algorithms are involved in
Yes.
supervision and management of employees or workers. But yeah, so there's not much clarity yet on what that will look like.
Yeah.
And it's also very, very brief, of course, since a couple of months since this was established.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, Lucas, though, to your point, what was meant to be a uniform approach across all the European Union is now a fragmented approach. And what was meant to give workers certainty engaged by talent marketplaces or talent platforms, whether they're in Netherlands or Sweden or Ireland or Spain, and engaged by those platforms, the certainty's gone, right? And we could get back to a position whereby, let's say, Ireland has a very strong regulatory approach for this, but Netherlands might have a lighter touch, or the model that you've described. So what was meant to give certainty has now created uncertainty and additional complexity, right? If you want to move across a border, for example, or work in a platform, let's say, that's headquartered in Ireland, but the work is conducted in Netherlands, right? So it's actually become more complex in a way, in my view. Would you agree with that, Luca?
Yeah, no, I do agree. I mean, basically,
Yes.
situation like whereby, there is, I mean, it will depend on which country you're working in, and the local court's interpretation of European legislation and the new legislation that will be put in place nationally. I think there will likely be big differences between the country. So one of the initial ideas of the proposal to create that uniform situation with more protection for the workers involved, it will not, at least not entirely, be achieved through this new form of the directive. Of course, there are some other changes regarding privacy and the transparency, etc., that will get to the finish line. But I think the most important part of this whole proposal, or one of the most important parts, was specifically creating that uniform and clear situation with respect to platform work.
Yes.
And I think that will not be achieved now.
No, I agree, and I actually think that is the great sadness about this, Lucas,